And
Was Pete Alonso there?
he was not.
Oh.
Juan Soto was also not there, by the way, because he had his flight from the Dominican Republic was canceled. He had flight issues.
Really? That guy flies economy?
I don't know, but he had flight issues. He wasn't there.
500 and what million?
700 million.
700 million?
765.
And his flight was canceled? He couldn't just get on his own jet?
I don't know, boy.
Jeepers creepers. The rich get richer.
This is the 10 Minutes with Andrew podcast.
Welcome back to 10 Minutes with Andrew. I'm, of course, Andrew. I'm again joined by Mark Chancey. Welcome back to the show.
You call that lame?
It was pretty catchy, actually.
That's 80s memories or something it's called. So that's it. We don't have anything licensed today, so
Yeah.
we went with some stock audio. It's 80s memories, I think it's called. Put you right in the mood, hey?
Yeah.
So what's happening over there?
Not much.
Not much? You got your toque on? You
I
cold?
do. No.
Oh, you got your Leafs toque and your Leafs shirt after they lose again.
2-1 Descenders.
Leafs got to get their heads out of their butts.
Yeah.
Yep. Hopefully this break they're going into now, they can get healthy and realize that they're not as good as they think they are.
Well, they got Minnesota on Wednesday, and then their last game till like the 22nd of February. So they get a long break as the Four Nations face off and everything.
And Mikko Rantanen is a Kane.
Well, we'll talk about that in a second.
Oh,
but
excuse me.
The thing about I watched part of it yesterday. Part
Did
of
you?
part of the first period,
Strange for you.
and part of what I saw, I didn't think they played that well. To be honest with you,
It wasn't a bad game. They defensively they are a mess in their own end.
yeah, that's what I realized. It's like they can't clear it. Like it's just
When they have an easy way to get out of their zone, someone screws something up. And
Yep.
I saw Riley make a lot of mistakes. Marner always makes a few mistakes. Willie's brutal in his own end. Ty Domi. I always call him Ty. Max Domi wasn't born with any defense in his game.
No.
So they gotta clean that up. And
But Brady Tkachuk was quite the he was quite the irritation last night.
he always is. Good for him. You got to score more than one goal though.
Yeah.
You waste your goaltending effort. Wall played well, and they couldn't score. So
Yeah, and the Columbus game they got blown out 5-1, but that's because of Hildeby. Hildeby was bad in that
he
game.
was bad, and their goalie was good. They only allowed 17 shots or something that game, and ended up losing 5-1. How do you lose 5-1 on 17 shots? Explain that one to me.
Because I mean it's Dennis Hildeby didn't play very well.
Goodness gracious. So, what are we doing today, my son?
Well, we are playing a game.
A game.
A couple things we got to get into before the game.
It has to be what are the chances?
It is.
Okay, because we haven't played that in a decade.
We have not.
A decade. So what are the chances? I like this one.
But there's a couple things we got to do before we get into the game.
All right, make it quick. Come on.
So, as you just mentioned, Mikko Rantanen was traded to the Carolina Hurricanes.
Yep.
Pretty big trade. They also got Taylor Hall, by the way. It was a 3-team trade. They also got him from Chicago.
Mikko Rantanen wanted a crazy amount of money to make him much higher paid than Nathan McKinnon. And good for Joe Sakic. I'm assuming it's still Joe Sakic out there.
No.
It's not?
Chris McFarland is his name. He's the GM.
What happened to Sakic?
I think he's the president now.
I must be in the wrong era. See, the Leafs players did that years ago. And when Kyle Dubas was GM, he just caved to them all.
Yeah, and
Now we have 50-something million in 4 players.
It's interesting because some people have been saying, some Leaf fans have been saying, maybe Marner's next because he might want a crazy amount of money. But so Frank Saravalli, who's a hockey insider, tweeted yesterday. He said, and I'm not sure how to process this yet, but impeccable source said that this Rantanen deal was not the biggest thing on the table in the last 24 or 48 hours.
Yeah, maybe that's Marner.
So maybe it is Marner. JT Miller is also another one that is going to be traded pretty soon because he and Pettersson do not get along.
But Rantanen is primo top-tier player.
Yeah.
Yep. And wanted top-tier money more than anyone else was getting paid. And you're not getting paid more than Nathan McKinnon on that team. Sorry.
They asked Nathan McKinnon about the trade after it happened, and he said it was sad to see Rantanen go.
Yeah. They'll be all right. They got Nesh Cash and Taylor Hall back.
Natchez. Martin Natchez.
Yeah, Nesh Cash. And Taylor Hall. Hall?
Yeah, Taylor
So
Hall.
they'll be all right.
Yeah.
They lose to the Bruins yesterday.
They did.
Ottawa wins. Montreal loses but gets the loser point.
They do.
So they get a point. So that
Edmonton beats the Sabres.
That bunch of teams in the East that are fighting for those last 2 wildcard spots is just getting tighter and tighter. And if the Leafs don't smarten up, they're going to be down in that group.
Yeah, because the Panthers are chasing them, and the Panthers destroyed the Sharks last night. So
you should destroy the Sharks.
Yeah,
if you don't destroy the Sharks,
7-2.
you were sleeping.
Well, the other thing I wanted to talk about,
your show,
is Pete Alonso.
All right, on.
This is kind of been a big story the last couple of days of
Pivot to Pete.
So the Blue Jays were, I guess, rumored to be close to a deal with the guy.
Yeah.
And then a couple of Sportsnet sources like BNS, Ben Nicholson Smith, and Shai Davidi said, we've heard, they have been talking to him, but it's nothing's, described as close or gaining momentum at this point. But the Mets, they offered him a couple of contracts and he rejected them because they had deferred money in them or opt-outs and he didn't like that. Well, yesterday the Mets had a fan fest thing where they unveiled, they did a lot of things. They unveiled.
Boy, you are going deep into your sources now.
They unveiled new jerseys.
Okay.
And
was Pete Alonso there?
He was not.
Oh.
Juan Soto was also not there, by the way, because he had his flight from the Dominican Republic was canceled. He had flight issues.
Really? That guy flies economy?
I don't know, but he had flight issues. He wasn't there.
500 and what million?
700 million.
700 million?
765.
And his flight was canceled? He couldn't just get on his own jet?
I don't know, boy.
Cheapers creepers. The rich get richer.
Well, they did like a Q&A
at
this fan fest. One of the people that was there was the owner, Steve Cohen.
Yeah.
And this is his quote about the Alonso negotiations. I've never heard an owner this transparent before. Most owners would, no commented or whatever. He said, I don't like the negotiations. I don't like the structure of the offer that's been presented to us. Maybe that changes. If it stays this way, I think we have to get used to the fact that we may have to go forward with existing players.
Well, you're dealing with Scott Boras, so you're not going to like the negotiations.
Now, a lot of people, Blue Jay fans, have been pointing out that they think this could just be a leverage play by Scott Boras to try and pressure the Mets into giving him a better offer. But if Steve Cohen's saying he doesn't like what's being presented to them, then maybe it's Boras and Alonso that are making the negotiations tough.
Maybe. And we're not going to know till we know.
We're not going to know till we know.
So
right now, it's the waiting game.
No Pete Alonso.
Yet, anyway.
No Juan Soto, no Shohei Ohtani, and no Sasaki.
No.
Okay. But we did get Anthony Santander.
We did indeed.
Who will probably lose all of his offensive flash.
Who knows?
When he puts on a Blue Jay uniform.
Who knows?
So that's just pessimistic, Mark.
Yeah.
So we're ready to get into the game or what?
Yeah.
How many of these do we have?
3.
Okay, let's get going. I got things to do. Okay?
Yeah?
I got things to do.
Like what?
Have you seen behind you?
I did, actually, yeah.
Okay, there you go. So,
what are the chances Ryan O'Reilly returns to the Leafs? Because at the deadline...
I don't think I have a laugh one,
the Leafs are looking for a center, apparently.
Yeah, but it ain't going to be Ryan O'Reilly. And you know why?
Why?
Because his wife won't allow it.
Probably not.
And that's a fact. The reason he didn't sign with Toronto after he was there for the playoff run last time is they didn't like the notoriety in Toronto.
Yeah.
They want to be a little bit more private, and I can understand that.
Yeah.
So I'm sure if it comes up, honey, Toronto wants me back. Do you want to go back there? No.
Yeah, probably not.
So I would say...
You're fine in Nashville where there's no media. Really.
What are the chances? That is a dead zero. I'm not even giving that a percent.
I'm going to give it a negative 50%.
A negative 50. So where did this come from?
Well, because
they need a center?
Yeah, and I've seen Ryan O'Reilly's name pop up a little bit. So, I just thought maybe we can use him.
We could use anybody that can play the center position.
Yeah.
We could use a few more forwards and probably another defenseman that can play defense.
Probably.
And other than that, we're fine.
We are fine?
Yeah. So you're saying negative what?
50.
Negative 50%. And I'm saying 0. So chances are good he'll end up in Toronto. That's what we're saying.
There's been a lot of names thrown out about
that one was easy.
It was easy.
Yeah. So no Ryan O'Reilly to Toronto. Number 2.
What are the chances? I didn't know how to phrase this one, so this might be weird phrasing. Okay. I'm not totally sure.
I'll let you know.
What are the chances that the Blue Jays get a wild card spot?
Why would that be weird?
I just didn't know how to, like, I didn't know, because I don't know how many wild cards, but I think there's, what is it, 2?
So basically, what are the chances they make the playoffs?
Yeah. I should have just said what are the chances to make the playoffs. Yeah, you're right.
Given the current roster, now this might change this week.
Could change.
I got to go to strong 0%.
0?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what about this current roster makes us think that they could even get to 500. Let's
true.
get there first, right? Because we didn't get there last year.
It would take a miracle like the Tigers had. Like, we would have to have a lot of guys having bounce back years, like Springer and Bo and Vladdy still producing when the games matter and everything like that. It would take a lot.
You mean the bounce back years they were supposed to have last year? That was
And
going
the
to
year
get
before,
us into the playoffs?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And the year before that, and the year before that.
I just don't see, like, to me, the starting pitching sounds good.
But they're old. They're getting old.
But Gosman and Bassett had their struggles last year.
Yeah.
Barrios was probably the best.
Yeah.
We've lost Kikuchi, who was one of the best.
And went to the Angels.
Yeah, we've lost Kikuchi.
Another team talking to Pete Alonso.
They're probably bringing back Manoah to give him a go, so we don't know what we have there. I can't see the bullpen being finished.
But why would you bring Manoah back if you have Rodriguez?
Well, he wasn't a shining star either, so
I mean, that was a one.
you're making my point for me.
But it's a better option than Alek Manoah.
We don't know yet. Maybe Manoah's fixed. Who knows? Maybe he's been spayed or neutered.
I doubt
all
it.
Fixed. He's all fixed. But given the conversation I just had with you, which was mostly one-sided, 0%.
0%.
There's a lot of holes in this lineup. A lot of holes.
I'm going to go 5%.
And if they get Pete Alonso, I jump up to 5%.
I'm going to go 5%.
If they got Pete Alonso and Bregman and maybe Scherzer, I'd go up to like 7%.
Yeah, they're not getting Bregman.
Depends. Depends a lot on Bo Bichette. Depends a lot on Guerrero if he decides to start playing in April and not June, like last year when they were out of it.
Yeah.
Bo Bichette has to play like we think Bo Bichette plays.
Springer
Our second baseman, we have no idea. Jimenez, he apparently can't hit,
or Jimenez.
but he's a great player. He's a great fielder.
He's a great fielder.
We know Varsho can't hit.
He's Dalton Varsho 2.0.
Infielder.
Yeah.
Yeah. Springer, we don't know what we're getting from him. Is he gone past the I'm too old to play kind of thing? Or is he just having a bad year?
Absolutely no catching whatsoever.
Who do we have in left field now?
Who do we have in left field?
We don't have a left fielder.
Well, also Varsho's hurt, so that's another thing.
How did he get hurt? Not even playing.
He had surgery.
Oh, okay.
So he's going to be out for like the start of the season.
So
Same with Manoah.
We don't have a third baseman.
We have a third
And
baseman.
We have the 7th or 8th best
But if-
catcher in the league,
if-
though, and Alejandro Kirk.
If we get Pete Alonso, then Vladdy goes to third. So that gives us somewhat of a third baseman. I don't know.
My goal for this team this year is 500.
500, yeah. I'm going to go 5%.
And there's part of me that wants them not to do very well because I want those two clowns out of here.
I do.
And there's a reason for that, right?
Right?
Because we don't want them there anymore.
But yeah, I'm going to go 5%.
Because the Ross and Mark show needs to end
It's true.
now. The building's all renovated. Fire them.
5% for me.
It's got this brand new renovated stadium and a team that no one's going to want to come watch. So come on, boys. Figure it out. Figure it out. And don't be honored to be part of the process. Be the process. Be a team people want to go play for. Right? Get a manager.
Yeah.
Get a manager first. Let's start with that.
Yeah.
Don't do all this crap with offensive coordinators and Matt Hags and all this stuff. Get a manager, get some players, and win. Make winning the culture.
Yeah.
Not making everybody happy. Win.
Yeah.
All right. So, 0%.
Yeah.
And you?
I said 5% about 20,000 times.
Old guy here. Can't remember. I remember the question now. So we're on to number 3.
Yep.
All right. I'll give the drum roll for that.
I know the say on the last one because you said it all.
Is this one going to confuse me like the last one you said was going to confuse me?
No, that's not going to confuse
You
you.
must think I'm pretty dumb if you thought that was going to confuse
No,
me.
I don't know if it was going to confuse anybody. I just,
Okay. This is number 3 of what are the chances?
it's kind of a longer one.
Okay, this could confuse me.
What are the chances that Vladdy leaves the Jays in free agency and signs with the Boston Red Sox?
See, now you've made it much lower
Yeah.
because you specified a team.
Yeah.
which is going to make it.
Only because that was the team that was named because that's the team he would like to go to. Just, you know.
I'm going to treat this as a two-parter, as they say in Boston. A two-parter. That's two parts.
Yeah.
What are the chances he leaves in free agency?
Yeah.
So he finishes out the year with the Jays?
Yeah.
0%.
Yeah, because they're not going to re-sign. They're going to trade him.
Because if they're not getting anywhere soon,
Yeah.
he's going to be on the trading block.
Yeah.
So that's 0%. What are the chances he ends up with the Red Sox?
And he could be traded to the Red Sox. You never know.
I'm going to give that an equal opportunity of that and 4 other teams. So 25% chance he ends up with the Red Sox. So if I take the 25 and the 0 and I average that out, 12.5% chance he, to your question.
It's good math.
How do you like that, hey?
It's good math.
That's good stuff. That's good stuff.
Yeah, so I was watching MLB Network the other day.
I know. I saw you.
Yeah. Tom Verducci was on.
Yeah, I know. I saw him.
Yeah. And he said that if he thinks that now, if Vladdy hasn't signed a contract yet, and if the Blue Jays haven't signed him yet, locked him up yet, like if they're serious about
He's not
keeping him,
staying.
he's not staying.
Makes
And
sense.
I agree with him because
Pitchers and catchers are reporting very soon.
they've had that ample opportunity. He's been in arbitration for years now to lock him up if they really wanted him to be the future and the face of the team, and they haven't done it. So I don't think they're going to. And Vladdy set a deadline of spring training. He's not going to negotiate during the season, which I get because he doesn't want it to be a distraction or whatever. But if they can't get it done in the next less than a month, much less than a month, he's not going to be here. So the chances he leaves, two-parter chances he leaves the Jays in free agency, 0, because they would just trade him at the deadline or at any point in the season. Goes to the Red Sox, 20. He probably wants to be with his buddy Devers. I don't know.
So if you average 0 and 20, you came up with?
10.
Very good, man. That
So
education's
10.
paying off.
10.
So you're 10 and I'm 12.5%, hey?
Yeah.
But there's another layer here. And you told me this, crack inside reporter that you are.
Not.
Old Eddie Rogers wants him signed.
Yeah, Scott Mitchell at TSN said Ed wants Vladdy signed.
Well, Ed don't seem to be getting what Ed wants
No,
for a change.
Ed should probably be speaking up to the media about this clowns that he's hired.
Ed needs to just concentrate on the Leafs right now, and
He does.
then a little later we'll move over to the Blue Jays. So
Yeah.
that's it, hey?
How about a bonus one?
Okay,
Okay.
go ahead.
One
No
more.
drum roll.
One more. What are the chances Mitch Marner gets traded? You talked about at the beginning of the show.
Not with this group.
No?
No, I don't. I just don't see.
Not with Shanahan, I think.
Not with Shanahan. I don't know. I don't see it. To me,
I think True Living would do it. It's just Shanahan's probably preventing him from doing it.
like Mitch Marner gets a lot of points. He's a playmaker. He's fun to watch in the regular season for sure. We've seen that.
Keyword regular season.
But he's still doing things and saying things that if I was the manager of the team would think, we don't need that in the locker room. Like to come out and say that you thought you played really well,
After getting shut out in Vancouver.
and the coach and Tanev and everyone else says it's embarrassing.
Yeah.
Well, that's a disconnect.
Yeah.
Like, how can you think you played really well, and everyone else says you're embarrassed by how they played?
Yeah.
I don't. So I don't think the Leafs have the stones like the Avalanche have to make a trade like that, but they need to because it's going to cost them dearly.
Yeah.
And he's going to be one expensive piece that doesn't show up in the playoffs.
Now, I mean, maybe he just plays out the season and leaves in free agency, but that's not going to be good for the Leafs because they get nothing for him.
I don't see that happening. What was the question? What are the chances he
Gets traded.
gets traded? Oh, not with this group. I got to put that at 1.5%.
1.5?
Yeah, 1.5.
That's 0.5.
That's a little possibility because I think if Tree Living had his way,
Yeah.
he would do everything he could.
But I feel like this is a
There's
Shanahan
also a
thing.
no move in there they got to
Yeah.
deal with too, right?
But I feel like this is a Shanahan thing where it's like because he's here, he probably isn't going to let it happen, but he's probably not going to be here at the end of the year if they screw up in the playoffs again, and then that's going to give Tree Living, what he wants to do.
I just don't see Mitch Marner's game translating well into the playoffs. It hasn't to this point, 6 or 7 years later. What's going to make it any different this year?
Because part of what you said earlier about Kyle Dubas caving, which he did absolutely, it was the wrong thing to do, is, we don't know how much of that was Shanahan, as well.
Oh, I think a lot of that was Dubas. I think a lot of that was Dubas.
Probably.
That's his kind of player,
Yeah.
as we know.
And as we know, the Penguins are very much struggling. I mean, their goalie's on waivers. He's down now in the AHL.
Yep. So is that it?
Yep.
That's the emails are sent. We're done.
Yeah,
Like that?
I did like that.
Okay. So now we move into our weight loss.
Yeah.
You-
I almost forgot what number I did.
You weighed in. I didn't. Mine was easy. You weighed in.
Down 3.4.
Down 3.4 pounds. Good for you.
34 Austin Matthews.
I got on the scale Thursday. Usually get on Friday, but Thursday we had a party, birthday party,
Yeah.
fish and chips and all that stuff. So I got in Thursday, and I was the exact same to the 10th of a pound. So I could take that as a victory because if I had gone another day, maybe I would have lost.
Yeah.
But if I had got on after the party, I would have gone up. So
Yeah.
to the 10th of a pound, I was exactly the same.
That's good.
Yeah, it's all right. I haven't really been serious since I got the cold.
Cold.
And time to get serious now because I'm out of excuses.
Yeah.
Before I have a cold, I can't go to the gym. Now I'm out of excuses.
Yeah.
Anyway, anything else you want to say over there today? Because if not, I'm going to put on the old 80s memories.
No,
Anything else?
nothing.
Here it is.
So thank you for listening and watching this episode of 10 Minutes with Andrew. Find us on YouTube. Be sure to like, subscribe, and comment. We'll be back next week with another episode.
Next week, we will be back.
We'll be back.
See you later.
See you later.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for watching. If you liked this video, be sure to hit the like and subscribe buttons and turn on notifications to be notified when we upload new content. You can also connect with us at andrewchansey.com.